Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and today I wanted to do a reading for you guys on what it is that you're being called to do in this life. Now, this could be something that your higher self chose for you to do in your life before you incarnated on this earth, or this is something that your guides are trying to point out to you, what you should be doing here. Now, this could be something that is a part of your career, but more than anything, it's about what is your purpose here, like your deeper spiritual purpose. What are you meant to do? Are you meant to be healing people? Are you meant to be communicating to people in a certain way? Or is it more about you? Is it just, are you meant to go out and experience the world, experience life, and connect to people? So today I have 3 different piles for you to choose from. Pile 1 is with this crazy lace agate, if I can get it. There we go. Pile 2 is with the tiger's eye. And pile 3 is with the rose quartz. So again, just go ahead, take a moment, pause, figure out which pile you feel most drawn to. I've left timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading that you're meant for. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Go ahead and enjoy your reading. Alright, pile 1. If you chose the crazy lace agate, then this is going to be the reading for you. Now, this is going to be, like I said, all about what is your calling here on earth? What is your purpose? What is spirit and your higher self calling you to do in this lifetime? So if you're ever feeling lost or upset about where your life is going, it's probably because you're not in alignment with whatever this calling is. And I'm starting off with these 2 messages, just overarching idea of what is this calling exactly? And I think it's a lot simpler than you're expecting it to be. I feel like you're expecting, I have this tricky purpose that I'm gonna need to devote my life to. It's gonna be so intense and I need to accomplish it or else I'm gonna fail. I don't know. I feel like you're a warrior type. And I'm actually here to tell you that your purpose and your calling here on earth is actually very simple. And the simplicity of it, I feel like, is what's going to be complicated for you. I feel like even though it stresses you out when things are really complicated, you're so used to life being complicated like that you're not going to be used to things being easy or things being simple. You're always up in the clouds, up high, always in your consciousness, rather than connecting to the simplicity of feeling. And I feel like your biggest purpose here in life has to do with these 2 cards, which are communication and happiness. So with communication, I feel like one of the biggest things for you is going to be your connections with people. I don't think that your reading really has to do with career, though I will say that if you are going into a career where you are communicating with people, something like counseling, then this could definitely be in alignment with your higher purpose. But I feel like what your higher purpose really is it's about you appreciating the connections that you have to the other people in your life. And also not just the way that you communicate with them, your relationships with them, but also your relationship with yourself, how you communicate with yourself. I don't know if you're the type that's always talking to yourself, always talking to your guides, or, kind of just in your head a lot, but your communication within yourself and with those around you is going to be very important. And it's tricky because I feel like when we talk about purpose or we talk about our calling, it's supposed to be, there needs to be an end goal. Like, what's the end goal? What am I working towards? But for you, it's not about the end goal. It's kind of like that saying, it's about the journey, not the destination. And I feel for you, it's not about what do I get out of these conversations with people. It's about how can I connect to people? How can I feel my heart connected to their heart? How can I feel our souls be together and understanding one another? Because I feel like you gain intrinsic value from those kinds of connections. You feel most at peace, most complete when you've created a strong bond with someone and you can almost say, my soul sees your soul. I understand you and you understand me. Because when you have that strong bond and connection with that person, especially if it's somebody close to you and somebody that you love, your life purpose isn't what can I achieve, it's how can I best enjoy this connection with this purpose, with this person in this lifetime. Which, especially if I feel like you are used to things being complicated and you're always all about, okay, what's the end goal? that might be frustrating for you at first because you're like, okay, yeah, I'm connecting to people, that's fun, but like, what's the goal here? And the goal is for you to slow down and learn that not everything has to have a goal. Not everything has to just be about getting to the destination as soon as possible. It's about you learning to enjoy the moment and enjoying it not just within your inner world with yourself and you enjoying life yourself, but enjoying your connections to others, because I think you have a really strong knack and talent for being connected to those that are on the same wavelength as you, those that are your loved ones, those closest to you, and those most like you. You have this ability to bond, and it's a kind of bond that transcends words. It's something that you feel deep within you. And that's what I mean by gaining intrinsic value from it. It's not about what you get at the end of the conversation. It's about enjoying the conversation. It's about enjoying the connection and the emotions shared between two people. I feel like especially like positive transfers of energy where you're around a person and you guys are kind of uplifting each other, where even if it's you're just sitting next to this loved one of yours and you guys aren't really talking, your guys' energy recharges each other. You just uplift each other. And that's, I think, it's like nonverbal communication. Like all sorts of connections to others, you will have a very strong knack for if you don't already. So that is the first part. You also got a second card. I'm only really trying to get one card, but for your other one, you have happiness. And this one is also just a very simple message. I feel like I said, you're so hung up on my life purpose needs to be this complicated journey. It needs to be this thing I'm striving towards, this goal. But I feel like your guides are trying to tell you it's not all about this complication. It's not about this, journey of striving towards this end goal. Your purpose in life is just to be happy. Your calling is to search and find that happiness, figure out how you can have it for yourself for the rest of your life, not in fleeting moments here and there with people that don't really care about you or doing things that kind of just keep you from being bored. It's about where can I find my happiness? What I think is interesting in this card is you see there's this wolf that's, it almost looks like he's on a journey and he's searching for himself. But he has all these stars that's like, or I guess it's a fox, not a wolf. But he has all these stars within him, and it's like everything that he's been searching for elsewhere is also just within him. And I like the imagery of it being an animal and not a person, because I feel like as people, we overcomplicate things. We're always in our head. But animals are simple. If you think of a dog, like I'm sure you've probably looked at a dog before when you've been really anxious or depressed and you're like, God, it would be so nice to just be like them, to just lay in the sun, be fed whenever it's like time to eat, have no worries in the world. And the reason that they don't have these worries is because they're very simple creatures, They're not constantly worried about life, and I'm not saying it's not valid to worry about life, but I think you especially are always in your head. You constantly have these anxieties and these worries, and your goal in life is really just how can you find this simplicity within yourself and learn to find this peace, this happiness, and this contentment without constantly being worried or constantly feeling like you need to grasp onto it tight or you're going to lose it. What can you do to have that peace wherever you go, through any moment, where you can dig your roots in deep, and no matter what storm comes upon you, you're not going to budge because you're confident in who you are, you're confident in the peace that you've found. So, your calling, it doesn't have to do with career, though you could definitely make it your career, because I feel like your calling and your purpose in life is developing intimate connections with those that you love. And also, I feel like you have this intrinsic ability to kind of heal people. Not like directly like you're healing their wounds, or not even like super duper deep where you're healing like their traumas, but it's almost like, have you ever been around a cat and like, I don't know if you even like cats, but it's like they almost have this ability where they just sit on you and it's like they're absorbing all the negative energy. It's kind of like, I feel like you can sit in a room with someone else and they're having a bad day and you don't even really need to say anything, but you will get to this point where you give off such this high vibrational energy where you're so positively charged because of all that you've gone through, all that you've learned, that you'll just be able to put people at ease just by being around them. And you might not even know you're doing it consciously, because it's not going to take a lot of energy or effort. It's something that'll come naturally to you. It'll just be something that radiates off of you because you're naturally in tune with this. This is an ability that you naturally have. And it's just a matter of finding yourself, finding your happiness, finding that peace and that contentment in the simplicity of things. Simplifying things down so not everything needs to be complicated. Just learning how to enjoy life as it comes. Learning how to slow down and be grounded. Okay. So, that was a lot of talking. I wasn't supposed to do that much talking, but luckily I pre-shuffled everything. So I'm going to quickly get your cards out. All right, so with the Prism Oracle deck, we have anxiety, energy, and stop, clarified by the Nine of Cups reversed, the Empress, and the Knight of Swords. All right, I moved your cards around a little bit so we could see everything a little bit more clearly. But here is kind of the three final messages I have for you about what is your calling and purpose in life. I feel like we did a good job of covering it, but I'm just going to get a little bit more in detail. So this top row is kind of these main ideas, what parts of your life we're looking at, and these down here are what are you doing in them. So starting off with anxiety, clarified by the Nine of Cups reversed. I feel like you are somebody who probably has anxiety, but it's definitely something that has been a big part of your life, like learning to overcome it, learning to live with it. You might even still be having these anxieties, still learning to overcome them. And I think it's not, your purpose isn't just learning to overcome it for yourself, but once you finally overcome it, and even if it's not something that you overcome fully, like maybe you live with anxiety for the rest of your life, but it's something that you're consciously working towards so hard that you develop these ways of dealing with it. You learn these lessons on how to deal with it. You learn how to live with it, even if you're still living with it and it doesn't fully ever go away. And part of your purpose is, like previously, we said communication. And like I said, I feel like you have this healing energy. I feel like you are going to be able to teach other people who maybe are younger with you, who remind you of like, God, I used to be like them. I used to have these anxieties ruling over my life. And now I still have them, but I've learned to live with them. And you can learn to pass on those lessons to other people. I feel like especially people that feel like they have nothing going for them, the things that they've been trying to achieve are failing, you understand that feeling because maybe it's you right now. But I feel like, you know, with this Nine of Cups reversed, it's all about lack of wish fulfillment. The things that you want in life aren't coming to you. You feel like a failure. You feel like you aren't able to achieve the things that you want to achieve, and you're just kind of dissatisfied with life. I feel like you are going to learn how to overcome that. And part of your purpose and your calling is moving through this journey and learning along the way how to deal with these feelings, how to overcome them, and how to not let them rule your life. And when you finally learn how to do that, you're going to be able to look at people that are dealing with it too and help them. You're going to look at them and almost it's like you're this older sibling looking at your younger sibling and you're like, I used to be just like them. And you can pass on your wisdom. And through that, you're going to be able to heal these people. I feel like especially, even if it's not like strangers, I'm almost getting like healing generational wounds. Like maybe you do have younger siblings, or maybe it's children that you have someday, but part of your purpose in life is healing generational wounds that have been passed down from your parents, from your parents' parents. You know, if it's certain ways of behavior that were toxic, certain cycles in your family that were toxic, you're going to be the one that finally breaks them and says, I'm not passing this down anymore. And even if it's not your own generational wounds, I feel like you are going to be able to heal other people's generational and family wounds. Which, again, I don't know why I keep going back to this idea of counseling. I feel like you would be a really great counselor. Though I know that counseling, being a therapist, is very draining, having to deal with, you know, all those negative emotions from other people 24/7. So, you know, if that's not what you want to do, you don't have to. I'm just saying, I feel like you would have a very strong knack for that kind of thing because you have these gifts. I mean, this is what you're meant to do in this life. And with energy and the Empress, I feel like when you look at the Empress card, she is someone that has an abundance of energy. Especially with this energy card on top of it, I feel like I said before, where you could just sit in a room with somebody and if they're having a bad day, suddenly they feel uplifted. And I feel like you will come to a point in your life where you have healed so much, you have become so strong that you have this boundless energy inside you. Being around those kinds of people isn't going to be draining to you because you have so much healing energy to give that it's just coming off of you. If you look at the Empress card, she's lounging, she's the card of abundance, she's luxurious, she has this expensive gown and this crown, but more than that, you see not only how relaxed she is, but how she's also giving off this like glow of positive energy. And I feel like you're going to be the type of person where you just uplift those around you without even really needing to do anything, because you yourself have healed so much and become so strong that you have energy to spare. I feel like you've definitely been at points in your life where you feel so drained, you feel like you have nothing to give, no energy left over, but you will be at a point in your life where you are so empowered and so strong that you recharge people and you're still like way above full battery. You're never gonna run out of energy because you're so strong energetically and emotionally. And finally, with Stop and the Knight of Swords, I feel like you are going to be a protector in some ways. And this is kind of different from the other things that I've said about like, healing wounds, communicating, connecting to people. Not only that, but like I said, you're going to be so strong energetically and emotionally. I feel like a part of your purpose, maybe when you're older, maybe not now, but maybe after you've gone through this healing journey, I feel like you're going to end up being a protector. You're not only going to be taking people under your wing, not as like a guide per se, though I could see it going in that direction for some of you, but as like, if you see somebody that is suffering, you will take them under your wing, you will protect them. And not just protecting people from others, but protecting them from their own thoughts, protecting them from negative energies. You will be almost like a shield to people that need it. And a guide, not in like you tell people how to live their life, but I can see you being a guide in that people will look to you and imitate you. Like they will see you going through life the way that they want to go through life, and they will almost like, I don't want to say idolize you in like a weird way, but they look up to you and they act the way that you do because they want to be like you. I can see you being I don't know how to word it. It's like you'll be somebody that people look up to and that people want to listen to. Like, I'm imagining, like, those YouTube, like, self-help channels with, like, millions of subscribers. It's like you might not directly be, like, touching or talking to these people, but they will see you, they'll see the kind of life that you're living, and they'll say, I want to make a change to make my life better. I want to be like them. Because I see you at the top of your game, at the top of this mountain that you're climbing, of this self-help journey, of building a better, stronger you. You are going to be so strong that not only can you heal people just by them being around you, but people are going to want to be like you, and people are going to want to follow in your footsteps. So, your purpose is a very important one, but it also almost feels indirect. So I don't know that you're going to be reaching out to people directly. It's like you're leading by example. That's what I'm trying to say. That was the word I'm trying to find. Yeah, you will definitely be leading by example, and you'll almost give off this glow that people like you before that are looking to heal themselves, that are looking to learn these lessons, are going to almost be attracted to you like moths and following in your footsteps. So pile 1, that is everything I have for you. I feel like that was a very long reading, so hopefully you got through it all. But yeah, this is the first reading I've done in a while, so I've been kind of on and off because I've been sick. But if you enjoyed this reading and if you're looking for more from me, I do post about twice a week. So yeah, but that's all that I have to say for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading, and I wish you the best in everything that you do. Bye-bye. All right, pile 2. If you chose the Tiger's Eye crystal, then this is going to be the reading for you. Now, your reading, I literally just shuffled. I shuffle off camera, but I wish I could have done it on camera because this lines up so well. I don't know if you see these cards, but it's guide and message of guidance. So I feel like your message is pretty clear. What you are meant to do in this life, what is your purpose, what your calling is. You are meant to be a guide for others. And I feel like it's because you've had to go on a journey of finding yourself, finding your confidence, and finding your inner power. I feel like inner power, especially like I'm envisioning the Strength card in the tarot, you've learned how to be strong, not just through brute force, but through an inner fire, an inner confidence. And if you want, you can look up the Strength card, but essentially what's on the card is there's a woman holding open the mouth of a lion. And lions are supposed to be, this really brute strength animal that will maul you in a heartbeat. Like, there's no holding open the mouth of a lion, especially with the strong bite force. But the woman isn't holding open the lion's mouth through like strength and through iron grip. She's holding it open because this lion respects her, because the lion sees her own strength, and she holds it open gently, and it's almost like the two have a respect for the strength that they both have. And I feel like in that case, you're this woman. You are the one who has cultivated such an inner strength that you can hold open the mouth of a lion, not through brute strength, but because the lion sees the strength within you. And I think the idea of this lion here is very interesting because not only was I thinking of a lion, but you have the Tiger's Eye, and also if you look at guide here, there's like some sort of big cat here. I'm not sure, it kind of looks like a female lion, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. But I feel like your purpose in life is to become a guide for those in need. And not all of them will look exactly the way that you looked, because I feel like when you started out, or maybe even right now, you weren't this strong guide always. You, at one point, were weak, were scared, were sad, and you had to overcome those feelings. You had to build this strength within yourself. And once you become this strong person who wants to guide these people, it's going to be people from all walks of life, but you will notice in them the ability to become strong like you. You will see, it's almost like you'll have a soft spot for these people. You'll see people who have taken wrong turns in life, people that lack confidence within themselves, people that are making bad decisions and just going down the wrong direction because they themselves don't feel strong. And you will be the guiding hand to bolster them up. You want to hold people up so that they can shine and so that they can become better. And I feel like that is what deep down your purpose and calling is. Like, it's something that you will feel very passionate about. It's something that you will feel within yourself is your drive to make a change in other people's lives, because you don't like seeing people pushed down by others, but also you don't like seeing people that are just being held down by themselves, by their own weaknesses, their own fears. You want to get rid of those fears for them. You want to show them how to be strong on their own. And I almost see with this message of guidance, you see these two hands linked. So I feel like you're going to be directly aiding people. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is going to be a career path for you so much as like maybe it's as simple as you meet somebody in a cafe and you kind of sense this low, negative, dark energy that they have, and you just have this feeling like, I want to uplift this person. I feel drawn to helping this person. Or it could be people in your life. It could be that spirit sees that you have this natural talent, this natural ability, and this passion for helping these people, and spirit will guide people in need to you. And I don't think it's going to be something that drains you. I don't think it's going to be like, oh God, I have to help this person again. It's going to be, you want to help these people. And you will come across people that are receptive to the words and guidance that you have to give them. I don't think spirit is just going to put random people in your life that, have they're a lost cause. It's going to be, you will meet many people that you are meant to meet, and those people are meant to meet you too. There will be lots of important spiritual relationships in your life that not only teach you, because I feel like those kinds of karmic relationships, they're not only meant to teach the person that you're helping, but they're meant to teach you as well. It's a transactional both ways. So with these two hands linked, I feel like you're going to be forming a lot of connections where you are the guide for people. But not only that, you learn things from them. You're going to have a lot of beautiful relationships with people. Now, let's look and see your other cards. So I'm going to quickly move these around and we'll be right back. All right, I got your cards, and I literally just filmed this, but it got cut off. So excuse me, I'm trying to get my mind back. But these are the cards that we have for you here. These are going to be a little bit more in-depth detailed for what is your calling, what is your purpose, specifically like what are the reasons that you're doing this, what sectors of your life, and what are you going to be doing in them. And the first message I have for you is hunger clarified by the Seven of Swords reversed. And I feel like this is a message of what kinds of people you will be drawn to helping. And I feel like, I don't know a lot about this term, but I've heard it before, and it's light worker. And light workers are, to my knowledge, you should look it up for yourself because I don't really know, but they're the types of people that incarnated here to bolster up humanity, to help heal people, to it's like be a beacon of light, a beacon of hope to help and aid people along their journeys. Now, I don't know a lot about that, but the kind of thing that I'm seeing for you is you might be one of those light worker type of people. You've come into this, you've incarnated here physically to help guide and aid others. And I feel like not just guiding anybody, but you're also guiding other light workers because you recognize within them this inner flame. It's the same kind of inner flame that you have that's made you want to build yourself up, that's made you want to have this strength, to become this guide, to become confident, to not feel pushed down. That's that inner flame that you have that's driven you to become this strong, powerful person. And the kinds of people that you will be guided to help are the kinds of people that you recognize that they have that same flame, but they will be at a complete different part of their life. You might see someone on the side of the road that's lost their home, lost their job. Maybe they've had to fight and steal to stay alive, just to get food, just to get by. But you recognize underneath all of that pain, underneath all of that despair and hopelessness, that they still have that inner flame, that same flame that you had that made you want to be great. And you recognize it in them. You recognize their potential. And because of that, you feel your purpose is to guide them. It's almost like you have that moment of recognition. I feel like all of these people that you will come to, that you will guide, are kind of, they're karmic relationships. They are spiritually important, and you're going to recognize when it happens. It's not like you're going to just be reaching out and helping every random person on the street. Like, these are fated connections where you were meant to be in the right place at the right time to meet this person because you are meant to guide them. And they are meant to completely change and become strong just like you. And with the hunger card, it really makes me think that this is going to be someone like you, just at a different point in their life. Whereas you have risen and you have become the guide, they are just starting out. But you recognize that you both have this inner drive to be great. And you are going to be, coming in, teaching them, helping them, and it's going to change their life around. It's going to change the way that they act, the way they behave. I really feel like you are almost like a coach to these light workers. Again, I don't know a lot about the whole light worker business, but you should look it up. And another thing I see here, with growth clarified by the Nine of Wands, is I almost want to say that these people that you'll be guiding are like your seedlings. You come across them and you see that they are these tiny little seeds that are terrified in this forest. You see this guy is like surrounded by all these wands, if you can focus. He's surrounded by all these wands. He looks so scared and beat up. And I imagine that all those wands are these tall, domineering trees, and they scare these little seedlings, but you look at these seeds and you don't see these tiny, weak, frail creatures. You see trees about to be made, and you want to see them grow. You are the one that bolsters them, that lifts them up, that plants them and allows them to grow. It's not like you're building these people from the ground up. You are assisting them because you know they already have that ability. You're just giving that helping hand along the way. You're guiding these people to become these big, strong, powerful trees because you recognize that they're just like you. And finally, with faith clarified by the Ten of Pentacles reversed. I feel like a big part of this calling and this purpose is the spiritual meaning it has for you. This is obviously a very spiritual purpose. It's not a career. Like, you are meant to be guiding people for a higher purpose. So it's a little tricky. It's going to be different for everyone because, again, this is a general reading. But I feel like as you develop, as you become stronger, as you become more confident, you are going to be more in tune with this path spiritually. More is going to be revealed to you. You might not know a lot about it right now. Maybe you know a little bit, or maybe you are further along. But wherever you are, there is still more of a spiritual path for you to go down. And as you go along it, you will learn more. Maybe you'll get messages just like this one. Maybe this is one of those messages along the way that tells you a little bit about what this purpose is. Maybe you read a book and learn about light workers and it all clicks, it all makes sense. But it's almost like you need to go around this ring. I don't know, I've never pointed this out on this card before, but it's like you need to go on this journey. And when you finally come full circle, that's when you're going to be ready to be guiding these people. And with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, the kinds of people that you're guiding are the people that you see the potential in them, but they are so lost. They are at rock bottom. Like, imagine people that truly have nothing, that have almost completely lost their faith, but you feel guided to help them because you could see what they could be. Almost like an investor, but you're not really getting anything out of it. You're just helping for the sake of you feel guided to, because you are their guide, because it feels right to you. I feel like your spirituality is very important for you, and I feel like especially you are going to be spiritually important in people's lives. Your purpose is very important because you're changing people's lives around. I don't know how better to word it, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. You're going to be a very spiritually important figure in a lot of people's lives, and it's all because of the spiritual journey you've gone down. So if right now you're not feeling like that strong woman that can hold open the mouth of a lion, I want to reassure you that you will get to that point. And not only that, but it will completely surpass all of your expectations. You just need to take time. I know this is a lot about what you can do for other people, but right now I just want you to focus on yourself. Focus on guiding yourself to that confidence. Focus on just living your life and allowing yourself to enjoy this journey. Because you will eventually get to this point where you do feel drawn to guide people. But if right now you're not feeling that strength, if right now you don't really feel like you're well enough equipped to be that guide in people's lives, that's okay. Because you're not there yet. You still need to come full circle before you can achieve it. So, pile 2. It's kind of a weird message, but I hope it resonated. It's obviously going to be for very few of you, but I really hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope it made sense, and I truly wish you the best in everything that you do. If you want to support in any way, I do post about twice a week if you want to subscribe. Leaving a like also does help a ton, and if you want a personal reading, I do offer those. There's a link in the description box below to my shop, but that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Alright, pile 3. If you chose the rose quartz, then this is going to be the reading for you. All about what is your calling or purpose here on earth? What did you incarnate here to do? What does your highest self want for you here? And your reading is a little bit hard, and I'm going to actually bring out all your cards right now. I didn't do this for the other piles. I do shuffle ahead of time, and I usually go one by one, but I want to have all yours out because your message is it's pretty complete. It doesn't, let me just explain. You know those types of people that suffer really great pain and then they run off to a different country to be a monk or live in solitude and find themselves. I have a feeling that that is something that you are going to do that's going to be very important in your life. I don't know that you're necessarily going to move to a different country, but for a long time, even if it's not a very long time, it's going to be a very significant time in your life. You are going to be completely alone. Maybe it's as simple as maybe your family has another house up north, or I don't know why I said north. I live in kind of a southern place. Or let's say that maybe there's family that you can visit and they have like a private cabin that you can stay at. But I feel like you're going to be running away from wherever home is. Maybe you already have. But something is going to happen that's going to uproot your life emotionally. Maybe there will be a big tragedy. Maybe you discover something about your family or your life and it completely changes the way that you think. I don't know why something just came to mind. Like maybe you find out that one of your parents isn't actually your parents. I don't know. Like maybe your dad is someone else and for your entire life you thought it was this person that was raising you. Or that's a very specific example, but it's something like that where everything that you thought you knew about yourself or your family or your life, your entire identity changes. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting for you here. Or maybe, and I'm not trying to will this into existence. Of course, this is a general reading, so it's different for everybody that's watching, but maybe you have a loss in your family and it hits really hard and you don't know how to live without that person. Maybe you don't know who you are without that person. Maybe it's losing a significant other or a very close friend. But I feel like your purpose in life it's going to be a journey that you're going on, where it's going to completely test who you are, who you want to be, because you're going to be at the lowest lows that a person can experience. And it's like, who will you become? Who will you turn yourself into? You've been thrown this terrible bad luck or this bad hand of cards, and how are you going to get out of it? Because I feel like who we choose to become and the things that we choose to do when we're at our lowest, when we have nothing, that is who we really are. Not when we're at our best, not when we have everything handed to us, but when it's truly just you, your bare, naked form, with nothing, no one to help you. What kind of person are you going to be? And that is kind of the overarching question for your spiritual journey, because it's not just about the lowest low, and it's not about the journey itself, but who you become afterwards, the person that you emerge as. I feel like it's almost like you run away and you live in this cave and you stay there and nobody hears from you. Nobody knows what's going on in there. But it's like who you emerge from when you come back into the light is going to be so different. I don't even know if powerful is the word, because it's definitely you have changed, but it's not power in the normal sense. It's almost like you're going to be going through a metamorphosis that's so different. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like you're going to be a completely different person emotionally, mentally, maybe even physically. You will just look older. Like you will look like you have gone through a war. And I feel like your purpose has to do with the person that you become. And it's difficult to describe because I don't know who it's going to be. I don't think you know who it's going to be. But you are going to be a person who maybe you end up being one of those people that gives speeches or TED Talks about this was my journey, this is my incredible life story, and this is how I got to become this person. And from that, people see, oh my God, this is what life could be like. I don't know how to explain it to you, but it could be you get to the end of this journey and maybe you tell people your story because it's impactful and it's meaningful to them. Or maybe it's you change around to this completely different person and you lead a completely different life than you've ever thought that you could. And I don't know, I get this sense that you will be the helping type. And especially with this abundance card, even though you go through this terrible pain, this cleansing, this metamorphosis where you turn into this different person, I feel like when you come out of it, you'll share your story to help others. Or even if it's not sharing your story, you just turn into this person that offers a helping hand. I don't know if this is true, but maybe when you were younger, you were kind of selfish, or not even selfish to a super detrimental extent, but you didn't really think of others too much. But when you come out of this, you become I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you'll be so giving. You give without thought. It's almost like you come out of that cave as the old wise man that people are like, oh my god, what the hell happened in that cave? But let me kind of zoom back in because I'm trying to explain it, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. The reason I'm getting this message is because first of all, this submission card makes me think that I'm thinking of this young lion that's like, I'm super powerful, I'm super cocky, whatever. But then they get challenged by someone else and then they're thrown out of the lion kingdom. They thought that they were the top lion, but they get thrown out and now they have to go on this hero's journey of learning to find true strength so that they can come back and be completely deserving of that leader title. But the very first part is that submission where you accept that you aren't as invulnerable as you thought you were. And then you move on to this space card. And the space card makes me think like what I said earlier with you being a monk or you living in a cave. When you take time completely on yourself, you're completely alone in a void with nothing but yourself and your own thoughts. And that's when you go on that journey of, who do I want to be? Who am I? Because there's this tower moment, there's this upheaval, and because of this upheaval, you're completely cleansing your past. Who you were, you can no longer go back to because there is no past for you there anymore. Like I said, it's like the lion got kicked out. He can't just go back to his family, go back to his pride. He needs to completely change, cleanse himself, and figure out who he's going to be before he comes back, if he even does come back. And like I said about this possibly being something very painful, like the loss of a family member or completely losing your identity because you discover some things and you don't know who you are anymore. That's this pain card, clarified by Judgment Reversed. And with Judgment Reversed being here, it makes me think that this tower moment hasn't happened for you yet. I don't know if this is a warning or maybe it's just barely happened. But with Judgment Reversed, it's like you haven't yet decided who you want to become. Maybe this painful moment just happened. Maybe you're in the thick of it, or maybe it's right around the corner. Maybe it's not going to happen for a year from now. But whatever it is, the most important part of it is who you decide to become. Are you going to let these events define you? Are you going to let them keep you down forever? Are you going to be that lion that gets cast out and suddenly thinks that he's not deserving of anything? That he's not deserving of any love, any warmth, any abundance? Or are you going to say that you didn't want everything handed to you, that you want to learn how to have that for yourself, that you want to learn how to cultivate that power for yourself? Because that judgment moment, that decision that you make is going to determine what direction you go off in this path. Though I do feel like you are going to come out of it very strong. Especially with the Empress card and abundance here. It's almost like after a fire goes through a forest. It clears out all the dead brush and new growth can start to come up. You are going to be that new growth that decides to come up. And maybe you're going to start off as like a tiny little flower and like people just barely graze by you and almost step on you. But you learn how to become strong. You learn how to grow into a tree. I know flowers don't turn into trees, but you're going to be going through an insanely difficult spiritual journey, but it's all for the purpose of turning you into this strong person. It's not necessarily a guide, not I don't know how to explain it. It's like people will look up to you in awe, but it's not exactly like you're showing off for them. People just kind of recognize true power when they see it. So that's kind of what your calling or your purpose is in life. The end goal isn't revealed to me here, but a big part of what your purpose is what you will find. You will figure out what your purpose is for yourself as you go along this journey. But this journey itself, this tower moment and this upheaval and this decision you end up making about who you want to be is all going to be leading towards this true purpose for you. But this part, this beginning, is testing, do you have what it takes? Are you willing to take on the challenge? Are you willing to turn yourself into somebody strong? Or are you just going to fall down and give in to the pressures of this tower moment? So, pile 3. I really wasn't expecting to get that kind of message when, yours is literally rose quartz. I was expecting something like light and like, you're meant to bring love and life to people. But no, you are meant to go through something very painful. But it is for a good reason. You are going to turn into a very powerful person. I don't know if this made a lot of sense. I hope it did. I hope it resonated, but I also hope that it's not too painful of a process for you. But pile 3, I really hope it resonated. I feel like this is a very specific message, not for everybody. But anyways, if you enjoyed your reading, please think about leaving a like or subscribing. I do post about twice a week, so if you want more from me, then there's that. And if you're looking for private readings, I do offer those. There's a link down in the description box below to my shop. But without further ado, that is everything that I have for you, pile 3. I truly, truly, truly wish you the best in everything that you do. Bye-bye.